with some tears, with some joy, and celebrating a life that was cut far too short. And Coach Decky, a lot of emotion to start this night for the Golden State Warriors. It's been a very, very tough week. And after 8 days, they got back to doing what they love to do, which is play NBA basketball. They have come away with a win.
Oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby. Ah, boy. What a tough day at Chase Center. A lot of emotions, but the Warriors do get back on the floor and get a win for Dejan Milojevic. And we say good morning to everybody out there. Getting after graveyard shift. If you're at work, what is happening? If you're getting ready for work, what is happening? Shasky's back. Shasky is back as we get ready for the NFC title game. But Warriors with the great tribute before the game for their third-year assistant coach who left us young at 46 years old last week in Salt Lake City. We saw everybody wearing the T-shirts, Brait, which means brother. He called everybody Brait. What's up, my brother? Very emotional night to start. Warriors got back on the floor. They get a win, a much-needed win, by the way, over the Atlanta Hawks without Trae Young, 134-112. We'll get to the basketball portion of that game in a second here, but the tribute, Warriors doing everything first class, Shasky. That was pretty cool.
I got really emotional watching that for a variety of reasons, and it's just very difficult when, you know, sports is supposed to be all this fun, and you know, like we lose our minds, you and me screaming and yelling about Jimmy G or Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan's 2-minute, you know, clock management, and then like real life stuff happens, and it really does make all the other dumb things that we argue about so inconsequential, you know, and seeing his poor family there, and I there's no right or wrong, and everybody grieves in different ways. It's really difficult because life continues to turn and continues to move forward, and that poor family seeing those kids and his wife, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that jarred me to my core.
Yeah, Natasha, his wife, sons, Nicola, her son Nicola, of course, daughter Masha, was there sitting in Mike Dunleavy's seats. And you see Chris Weaves there and all the assistant coaches, and you think about who Decky was. I didn't know Decky left and right. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't that close with him, but every time I saw him, hey, what's up? What's going on? How you doing, brother? That's what he did. And every time I saw him working out, whether it was Kevon Looney or some of the bigs, dude always had a smile on his face. Always had a smile on his face. So I'm glad the Warriors got a win. It had to be a trying time for them. See somebody pass away, to be there in Salt Lake City. You hear I don't know if you read the great story from Marcus Thompson II about that situation and about that scene. And you know what? For all the Steve Kerr, is it? We forget that he's helped his team win 4 championships over the last decade. But his leadership in a time like this, I think, was on display. You see why he's named the Dream Team coach. You see why he's coaching Team USA. You see why he's had so much success in the NBA. Steve Kerr stepping up in need for this organization after, you know, losing a tough Memphis game, and then you lose Decky there in Salt Lake City. He has a heart attack right in front of everybody at a restaurant they go to every single year in Salt Lake City. They'll never go to that restaurant again. I can guarantee you that. You know, when I have those memories there, the last time you stepped foot in that restaurant, you lost your brother. So Steve Young deserves a ton of credit for stepping up for this organization in a time of need, man. Steve Kerr gets a lot of respect for the way he led this organization through a trying time over the last week.
Yeah, the human touch, there's no doubt about it. And that's just seeing those guys have to do all of that and then go play a basketball game. Basketball game felt so much like an afterthought. And I understand, like again, the world keeps churning and keeps moving forward, and it was really heavy. And to see Clay react the way that he did, and Draymond clearly getting emotional. You could see Steph getting very emotional, and all these guys getting emotional. It's very difficult. And, you know, I've been always telling you what's going on in my life. My dad's on life support, you know, and I'm having a really tough time right now. And there's days that I'm good, and there's days that I'm horrible, and I don't think he's going to make it out of the hospital. And so I would be lying to you if I didn't say that hit me really hard last night watching that, because I correlated that back to myself, and you guys, as my teammates here, if you will, have done a great job kind of supporting me and everything. And, you know, the world has to keep moving, and I'm struggling mightily right now to try to keep my life together while dealing with this tragedy. And I kept putting myself in the position of that family, and it's just like, damn, man, it's just, It's really hard. It's really hard, and my heart goes out to them. And it's there's just no other way around it, man. It's just it's really difficult, And you always say all these things like, life, you're gonna live to be 100. No, you're probably not. You're probably not. Very few people live that long. It's very rare. And so, you have said this over and over and over again, and it's something that I always say, like, people say, Joe, you say I love you too much. Yes, because I've had to say goodbye to people before I've had an opportunity to tell them that I love them. And I want people to know how much they mean to me and how much I love them. And the you just never know thing, people roll their eyes at it, but you literally just never know.
Yeah.
And you need to let them know in real time why they're important. And this is why, people that impact your life, tell them thank you. Let them know that you care. Because you might not have an opportunity to do so down the road. Yeah,
you see his wife breaking down yesterday on television. That was terrible.
It's horrible.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I was off last night, and, it was funny. We got off the show, and I'm hitting Josh Ackley, our producer, up. Man, where's the Zoom link? Where's the Zoom link? He's like, dude, you're off. And I forgot I had this day scheduled off for quite some time. And I was just thinking about Kareth and Festus and Darrell. And I talked to Darrell before the show, and that's not an easy show to host. Pre and post game, and it's not an easy game to broadcast for Fitz and Buki, who had to broadcast a game yesterday. That's not an easy situation. I can't imagine what it was like in that arena last night. Chase Center, of course. Can't imagine what it was like for those assistant coaches, those players. You see Dunleavy, of course, giving the flowers to his mom and his daughters. Just really, really sad. His son, obviously playing college basketball right now. But it just, everybody working there, just the mood. You could just tell the mood just wasn't typical Chase Center. It wasn't a typical Warriors game, but it can't.
Yeah,
it just really can't. So our prayers go out to the family of Milojevic, of course, and then everybody who had to sit there and cover that game, man. It's not an easy deal. It's not an easy deal, but they got back to playing basketball, and they played it well. Jonathan Kuminga, 4th straight 20-point game. Game high, tying 25 points, and he goes 11 for 11. Last Warrior to do that? Chris Mullin.
No way.
Chris Mullin.
Ha!
Chris
Wow.
Mullin. So JK did his thing. Splash Brothers did their thing, and they blow away a Hawks team, and they look re-energized. They didn't look fresh. Now, I'm eager to see what their legs look like tonight against Sacramento, but the basketball portion of it, that was their best play game in quite some time.
There's no easy way to transition to this, so I'm just going to just get right into it. Jonathan Kuminga's coming of age.
Yep.
All this Jonathan Kuminga, frustration, slander, however you want to categorize it. This dude had multiple plays last night. Him and Clay clearly got a little connection going, but he had multiple plays last night where it's like, oh, this guy's really coming into his own. One of them was the little fadeaway in the lane, okay, where DeJounte Murray's guarding him. Then on the very next possession, he comes down and fakes the fadeaway and then goes to like the kind of Euro step through and gets the little layup, gets the little fake handoff dunk. Like, the game is slowing down for him. And more importantly, because offense is never... It hasn't been a huge issue for him. I think forcing it at times and like discernment, yeah, we can nitpick. He's 21. Defensively, his communication on screens and not just getting plastered and quietly, getting taken out of the play. Him saying, hey, you stay with him. I'm going to fight through the screen or I'm going to switch with you. Kuminga is coming into his own. And the most encouraging part, there's a lot of things that have frustrated everybody this year. For me, if they come out of this year with a better version of Jonathan Kuminga, who could be their second or third leading scorer on a nightly basis reliably, that is a huge step forward. I know it's not championship. It's not going to guarantee you playoffs or anything, but I want to see that.
Jonathan Kuminga last night made all 11 of his field goal attempts, tying Chris Mullin for the most makes without a miss from the floor in a game by a Warriors player in the shot clock era since 1954-55. Prior to tonight, the last Warrior to make their first 10 field goal attempts in a game was Jordan Poole. back on
No
back on April 7th of 2023 in Sacramento. Last NBA player to attempt at least 11 field goals and not miss was Nikola Jokic, who did it against Memphis. That happened last season as well. But no, Jonathan Kuminga, 9 rebounds. So that's what I like. Him crashing the glass, him grabbing rebounds, him attacking the rim with not even reckless abandon, just knowing, okay, the lane's wide open. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to stop me. And the minutes that you see him play yesterday, 28 minutes, 51 seconds, just one turnover. One turnover, one foul. for Jonathan Kuminga yesterday. That tells me that his hands are active. He's not committing to cheap fouls. He's not getting in front of guys. 1 foul, 1 turnover, 9 rebounds. That tells me a lot about JK's game.
I just noticed that there was a concerted effort of awareness when a shot goes up. He was hovering back to box out and going toward the rim. Like it's a big difference for him. And then I don't know if you heard him in postgame, but he was crediting Draymond Green in terms of coaching him throughout the game,
right?
And kind of like the communication between the two of them. You know, I'm guilty of this. I ripped Draymond about riding the youngsters and stuff. Well, you got to give him a little credit here for clearly amending the relationship with him and Jonathan Kuminga and empowering the young man. Like that means if I get. Look, there's a lot of negativity for this year, and I get it. And I understand the greater frustration because there's big goals.
Right.
They may not accomplish them. But like the Jonathan Kuminga immersion is very important.
Yeah, him emerging this season in his 3rd year, I think we all knew he could do it. He's got the talent. He's a guy I don't want to trade. He's athletic on a team that's not full of athletes. And then he also said this about Ty and Chris Willard.
It felt great. It's crazy that Chris Mann is really my guy, and just tying his record, it's a blessing, and I'm really happy that happened. So obviously, it's a blessing.
He loves Bully. Bully loves him. Bully's always loved JK. D. Wright's always loved JK. We've always loved JK because we've seen this potential with him. 11 for 11 without a miss. Again, tying Chris Mullin. Tying Chris Miller for the most makes without a miss from the floor in a game by a Warriors player since 1954-55. This is what this kid is capable of. Going to the rim. Nobody can stop him when he's going to the rim on a fast break. I love the subtle 2-on-1 fast break where he just flips it over to Klay Thompson knowing he doesn't have a shot. Maybe a month ago, he forces that by himself and he's selfish. But instead he sees Klay Thompson. Hey, Klay Thompson, get your money. Who, by the way, Klay Thompson, 24 points last night, 8 of 18, but 5 of 10 from the three-point line. He was on a heater as well. But here's Kuminga. I'm not taking any threes. I don't know if you noticed that. He didn't take a single three-point shot.
I didn't notice that.
I really took what they gave me on defense, and that's pretty much it. I only took what they gave me on defense, and I wasn't even really thinking about taking any three.
There you go. There you go. So Jonathan Kuminga with a great night. Stephen Curry as well, 25 points, 5 of 8 from the three-point line, 8 assists. Remember, he was struggling from the floor as well, and maybe good to face Grant Liftman and the Atlanta Hawks, man. That was what the doctor ordered on an emotional night for the Golden State Warriors.